Welcome, it's Captain Matt, Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon, and today we're talking about cheap boat parts and where you can skimp on boat parts and where you cannot skimp on boat parts. If you are new to the channel, we are close to 55,000 subscribers, close to 11 million views in the last 4 years. A lot of great comments, and this channel is for people that are new to the boating world and just need information that they just don't know. One of the biggest things that I've seen lately are people that are buying boat parts on Amazon online from unknown sellers, and they're having major issues. Impellers, I think, are the biggest one that is kind of indicative of the problem. It's a normal maintenance item, and you can get an impeller for 50% off, maybe even 75% off if you go to Amazon. Same part number, same size, it fits, it looks the same. The only problem is that boat parts need to have a certain quality to them because they operate in a very rough, tumble, hot environment, okay? So what happens is you cheap out on your impeller, you go out the first time, it works great. The second time, well, guess what happens? The impeller breaks down, and now you've got something like this on your hands where instead of an impeller, it's all broken apart. Now, a good OEM impeller will easily last you 2, 3. I mean, I've had them in boats that have gone 7, 8 years. I don't recommend that, but good OEM impellers can go that long. You go with the cheap stuff on Amazon, AliExpress, some of these products that are coming out of China, and they're breaking up in the second or third use. And I'm telling you, you don't want these little rubber pieces and little fragments getting stuck in your engine, clogging things up, clogging up your thermostat, and causing major, major problems. So maybe you save 75% on an impeller, which is less than $100. It's just not worth it. So be super, super careful. Another area where I don't want you to cheap out is on fuel hoses and fuel filters. Fuel is the biggest problem with boat engines. It's because in the boating world, we don't run a tank full of fuel every couple weeks like you do in your truck. The fuel sits there for longer. And if it's ethanol, it can break down different components. And the fuel line, the cheap fuel line, it actually has a plastic membrane barrier in it. And that can easily get eaten away and cause problems breaking down the rest of the rubber that can wreak havoc on your fuel system. Little bits and pieces get into your fuel line, deteriorating the fuel line and having things collapse so that you don't get full fuel flow when you're going at max throttle. Fuel hose is an area where I highly suggest you don't skimp because it could likely bite you in the butt later. And to get the more expensive fuel hose, it's not going to cost you that much money. Don't be cheap on these areas. Next is very, very specifically starters on an inboard or inboard-outboard engine. Starters components are built different for boats. They're fully enclosed, so there's no chance that there'll be a spark externally if there's any fumes in that engine compartment. So absolutely, positively, do not go with the cheap auto starter or a cheap knockoff starter from online. Again, I say China, but that's where a lot of these parts are coming from, and they can be very, very dangerous in certain situations, costly in others, and almost always will wear out quicker, causing more expensive repairs and maintenance item needed. So avoid starters. Again, if you get a spark in an engine compartment, there's a little bit of fuel filter or a little bit of fuel films in there, it can be disastrous for you and your family. If you've got other comments on boat parts never to skimp on, I wanted to just do a couple so that we get comments from other people. Bad experiences, good experiences. Where have you used cheaper parts? Where haven't you been able to and got caught with your pants down? Put those in the comments below. I would love to hear it. If you're looking to buy a boat, make sure you grab the Boat Buyer's Toolkit. If you're a current boater and you've got questions, you're new to boating, grab the Boater Bootcamp. They're both totally free if you get them at boaterbootcamp.com or boatbuyertoolkit.com. And remember, life truly is better on a boat.